coming out clear. All right. If you are joining us, share the video, invite others to join. Wherever you are watching from, share the video, invite others to join. We are going to have a very quick one right now. And of course, I welcome you. Welcome to the program. You know, there is something, people has been confused on what's going on, and then people are not aware of the outcome of the failed military intervention of Niger Republic. People are not aware of the repercussion of this failed military intervention in Niger Republic, because that military intervention was very, very important to some people. But at the end of the day, the military intervention, failed. How did it fail? How did the military intervention fail? The military intervention failed because all the component unit that was expected or that was put together to actually carry out this military intervention, mostly in Nigeria. Remember that your Tinubu, the leader of Nigeria, is the ECOWAS chair. So the military intervention finally failed. It was not carried out, and what is the repercussion like? So many of us does not understand or know what the repercussion is like. But I am going to tell you that before we go there, there is something that is confusing a lot of Biafrans. So many of you are talking about there is a new SAN, there is a new this person in the court of SAN And Niger. And I see also people are blaming people and all that. But the most, the honorable thing that we need to understand is that whether there is a new SAN, whether there is a new lawyer, all we know and all we are aware of is that the case of SAN And Niger and the Nigeria government is done and dusted. So if you begin to dig deep, if you start digging deep on what exactly brought about the SAN, maybe if you start digging deep on issue of the SAN, I don't think you will be able to solve that conundrum, because it is a conundrum. But however it is, Biafrans must understand that the case of SAN And Niger finished from the appeal court, which appeal court gave the verdict that Nigeria state does not have jurisdiction to try the matter in any court in Nigeria. So I know that so many people became confused when they saw the senior SAN, who has been working for Nigeria and who has been, he's been there. Many of us, we are aware of him, we know him, and then of course people became confused. But I am here to tell you that the case is finished, whether there be a new SAN or not. The case is finished by Michael Zokome, Barrister Joffa, among others. The case is finished, it is done and dusted. So you don't need to start trying to scratch to know where this SAN come from, what is the essence of bringing the SAN. The case is finished, led by Michael Zokome. It is finished. That is one thing that you need to understand. We know that Facebook hasn't been good to us. We are aware, there hasn't, you know, they've been suppressing what we are doing. You know, it looks like when we talk, they realize themselves they've been suppressing what we are doing, but we cannot fall in their, you know, plan, because the plan is to make sure they discourage us. But we cannot be discouraged. We are not doing anything wrong, even with our Facebook channels. What we are doing, it is something that is right. It is something that even the owner of Facebook and his ancestors did when there was a genocide against the, you know, the Jewish. So that is exactly what we are doing. That is the reason why we know exactly that the freedom of speech is no longer, you know, there is no longer freedom of speech. That's why they will come, you know, suppress what we do in this media. And without us, there is no Facebook. Without you, there is no Facebook. Facebook is what it is today because of us, because of people who create content in Facebook. That is the reason why Facebook is. So if Facebook begin to ill-treat us, begin to manhandle us because he believes he can, we will actually, you know, remind them that they are compromised, because there is freedom of speech. We are not here to insult anybody. Rather, we are here to make sure that our voices are heard. We are here to make sure that whatever we are actually encountering, all the injustices that is being meted on us, that we are here to relay it to the world. But Facebook decide that they will continue to ill-treat us by suppressing and killing the morale that we are using to push this gospel, but it will not work on us. We will continue to push. They will never succeed, because we know what we are doing and we can never relent. So great Biafrans, let's share the video to override that algorithm manipulation. So of course, when I talk about if I'm talking about the new SAN that you've seen in court, in the previous court, in the last court rather, that is the last court of SAN And Niger, because even the 15th of December given for the verdict for this particular case, you might even be surprised that the verdict can even come before the 15th of December. That is something that you're supposed to, you will understand. The verdict can come anytime. If the Supreme Court decide that today now we are done compiling and doing the, you know, the due diligence and the consultation, they can call for this, you know, verdict to be given even next month. They can call for this verdict to be given even in 2 weeks time or in 3 weeks time. It is up to them. But I want you to know, whether there be a news, whether there is a SAN or there is no SAN, the case is finished. The case is finished. You know, for the sake of people not being able to handle some information, you will not be able to disclose a lot. So that is very important that you know and understand that the SAN that finished the case of SAN And Niger is the SAN Mike Ozokome. It is Mike Ozokome. So whatever we have there, you know, whatever we have there in the last court sitting, it is a formality. I want you to bear that in mind. Don't go and start digging deep to know what's going on. Everything is in order. Everything is in order. All we know is that we have, you know, defended our case. We have proven to the world that we have committed no crime, and we are proud to say that we are going to defeat anything that is actually placed against us in this quest for self-determination. And that is exactly what we did in Supreme Court, in Appeal Court. And that is exactly what we are going to get in the Supreme Court. Because if you look at what the federal government is doing, remember that I said had it been that the judgment came before the hearing, or the withdrawal came before the hearing, that means the federal government decided that they will not pursue the case anymore. But because of the ignorance of the federal government, because the federal government believed that we should go through the judiciary process, just like the previous administration suggested, we have gone through the judiciary process, and I am very, very optimistic we are going to emerge victoriously, because universal law deals with issue of jurisdiction, which is a bone that is throttling Nigeria that can never be removed. So now we are waiting for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to come home. Very soon he is going to join us, but I know there is a lot of, games that the federal government is playing. There are a lot of games that the federal government is playing. And those games that they are playing, believe you me, we are not up for game. We are up for our freedom. That is the thing. So whichever thing that they are playing, whichever, plans they are making, it will not actually, stop us from continuing what we're doing, because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has been in the solitary confinement for over 2 years now. So whatever the federal government, whatever game they want to play, let them continue to play it, and let them understand that we are in this and we are not going anywhere. The joker that they have been, they've been playing with Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that joker they've been playing, it is not going to solve any problem for them. It is not going to change anything, because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu made it clear that we are fighting for freedom. And it is the same because of that freedom that people died in 1967. People died in 1966. More than 300,000 people died in 1966. Come to 1967. So, more than 3.5 million people died in 1966. No one was held to account. No one was called as a war criminal in that genocide committed against Biafrans. So that is the way it is. There are many things that cannot be disclosed, but I urge every Biafrans to know that Udobashu, Magwacha ndị na-ekwu okwu na baya sị gị na Udoba koi koi, Udo kalele. Ekwensu gbacha mgba n'efu, ọgbacha oje zuru ike, because ọ gbaala mgba ọgbago ife niile ọ ga-agba. Ọgbago, in fact, ekwensu agbago hit niile dị ya na-alụ apụsịsịgo. At the end of the day, ife niile anwa ọgba o mechakwa, the ball comes back to our court. That's it. The ball will always return to our court, because we are doing something that is actually recognized around the world. That's what we are doing. We have committed no crime known to any law of any nation in the world. We have committed no crime. So whatever that is that, fight the enemy is waging or has waged against us, this time around, we are going to turn the table. We know very well that it is going to turn the table. The biggest mistake that imposter in Asorok did in 2021 was telling Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to go through a legal process. That was the biggest mistake he made. And that mistake will continue to haunt them wherever they are. Will continue to haunt all these evil people wherever they are. So when they discover that they have made that big mistake, they could not retrieve it. They started using executive power to undermine the rule of law. But having seen that we've been consistently exposing it and reminding them what the law says, they had no choice. They will have no choice than to allow, you know, the law to take its course. And at the end of the day, the issue of jurisdiction is holding in their neck. The whole world is now watching, because the whole world is watching the Supreme Court of Nigeria. International bodies, they are watching the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Many people, even the MPs in the UK, they are now paying attention to see exactly what's going on. They are paying attention. So many people believe that it is all about Titibo Zobuo. When you tell people who does not know anything, Titibo Zobuo, when you tell them to relax, that you know that the leadership knows what they are doing, it becomes problematic to them, because they don't know they don't have any plan. All the plan that they were established to do against IPOB was to bring up things that will overwhelm us. And when I talk about this overwhelming us, like I said, they believe that Eastern Security Network is the plan we have, is the army that we had, that we will use to fight against Nigeria. That is what they believe, including those who does not know anything in the struggle, who actually looking forward. All they are looking for is, how are we going to get into action? How are we going to get into action? They will be shouting action, action, without them knowing what action comes with. That's the problem. They don't know what action comes with. So that is the reason why all the agents that is being planted by the Western agenda, all of them are failing, and they are failing woefully, because the plan was to overwhelm us. The plan was for us to, react prematurely. That was the plan, for us to react prematurely. But they have seen the plan did not work. We did not react prematurely. The only thing they are doing now, it is to constitute nuisance. Then the military is going into Biafra land, burning the houses, killing people, just like you have heard from the bishop. Just like you heard from the bishop. They constitute nuisance. Nigerian military will not go after these people constituting this nuisance. Rather, Nigerian military will decide that they will go after innocent people and destroying the shelter belonging to the innocent people. For you to understand the irony of what these guys are doing, they know exactly what they are doing. Once they come out, they invite the military, make videos, share it around, invite the military. Once the military comes, they all go into hibernation. The military will do the bidding, because all of these people are working together. Don't forget, some of these militaries are Asare Dokubo's private military. Don't forget. Because he recruited Fulani, he recruited different ethnic groups into his paramilitary that he has. Some of them are this military of Asare Dokubo, who is leading the show. They are burning innocent people's houses. They are destroying properties and livelihood. This military. Because they are playing a double agent game. They will come and provoke themselves. Now they will bring military. Instead of this military to start looking for the criminal element, they will start destroying people's homes. They will start raining bullets and bombs on people's homes. Who does that? That is criminal. So, but that is by the way. The most important thing you need to understand is that there is no cause for alarm. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu case is done and dusted. It is done and dusted. So now going to the topic that we have, which you can see the image in front of you. That image is Tinubu, and the other image is the military junta of Niger Republic. If you remember how the war was being planned against the military junta in Niger Republic, of course, so many of you will still remember. You will remember that that war was very, very important to some people in the West. That invasion, that intervention was very, very important to some people in the big world. That is the reason why they had to back up Tinubu. They had to back him up. They were not able to release anything that is going to be substantial against the case of fraud against Tinubu. Because if you look at what the verdict of election tribunal court did, they did their verdict knowing fully well that the people who placed Tinubu in that position of leadership, who placed him there, knowing fully well that they are not going to expose anything that is they have on Tinubu, because they want to use Tinubu. The plan was for them to use Tinubu because it was not only France that is interested in Niger Republic. USA is interested in Niger Republic. So when this plan of military intervention was looming, you will understand that these two parties, including EU, they were willing to actually support every initiative that will propel such military intervention against Niger Republic. So, but in so doing, they discovered that the pushback from across Africa, especially Tinubu, discovered that the pushback that is coming from all angles, all areas in Africa, it is too much. That he wouldn't want to stand alone. He wouldn't want to engage where everybody is going to turn against him. Of course, he's a guy man. Many of us, we know that he is a guy man. So he noticed that the push coming from the France, coming from the USA, coming from EU, they are going to push him into self-destruction. He decided that no. Of course, he couldn't have done it alone. He couldn't have done it alone. That's one important thing that, people need to understand. He wasn't going to do it alone. He he was supposed to get the help of he need the help of the legislatures. He need the help of many of them. So he couldn't have done it alone. So at the end of the day, all these things, the intervention failed. The plan and the push for him to carry out the plan failed. That some of the people who are protecting his activities, even from the West, decided to tell him that you are on your own now. That he is on his own. That is exactly what you saw that took place. The reason why you see extraction of the Chicago State certificate. And in this Chicago State certificate, they knew and they saw when this certificate was lodged to INEC and when it was made available in the public domain. They saw that certificate and they were aware that this certificate that this man submitted to the INEC, they were aware that the certificate submitted to the INEC was not originally obtained from Chicago State University. Even Chicago State University management saw such certificate and they knew it was not from them. They are aware that that certificate was Oluwole. They kept quiet. They kept quiet. And then when this issue of military intervention failed and the court ruled based on the backup coming from these areas, that was how election tribunal decided to quash those cases and tell them that it has no substantial evidences to back up their claims against Tinubu. And of course, without them knowing that there is another plan in place, without them knowing that these people is not going to back them up until the end of the case, because he did not carry out the reason why he was placed there in the first place. He was placed there to be the stooge of the West, but he couldn't carry it out. And it was not because of, he wouldn't have carried it out because who is going to support him? I don't even believe that Nigerian military were going to actually, support him to go into that war against Niger or Niger Republic. I don't think they were going to give him the full support. And that war might even bring a coup in Nigeria. He was going to bring a coup to Nigeria because the Nigerian military were going to die in their numbers. They were going to die in their numbers. And at the end of the day, he reasoned those things. He knows that you cannot rob Peter to pay Paul. Because trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, it has consequences from both sides. And he knows that without robbing Peter to pay Paul, it has consequences. Now, that is the consequences that you are seeing today. The information coming out from the United States, from Chicago State University, which this information has it that the certificate that was submitted to the INEC was just a template that was made available in the public domain to warn people about the fraudulent certificate, how it will look like. They went to obtain such template, Oluwole, and they rebuilt that template, used that template to actually create their own version of the Chicago State University certificate, which they submitted to the INEC. That was exactly what they did. Now, that is the reason why the Chicago State University gave a verdict or gave a report that they saw that certificate when it was the only time they have seen the certificate that was submitted to the INEC was the time it was made available in the public domain, and they saw it and they knew that it was not their own certificate, it was not authentic. They were even able to show where they obtained the template from, and it was not their certificate. Now, having given the evidence that it was not their certificate, more evidence started coming up about the history of Tinubu in the Chicago State University. The fraud, how at some point he was a female, and later stage he became a male, which is the reason why you see people drawing him, depicting him being a woman, being a man. That's exactly what people were doing right now because of the report. But in that report, there is another one that is very, very, quite interesting, where the name of Tinubu was amended Tinubu's name was amended. There was an addendum to Tinubu's name, which is quite interesting. I am looking forward to see the name. I'm trying to find, extract that name, which he is answering. Just one moment. So, his name is now Adekunle. His name is now Adekunle also. I think there is no more Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I think it is Bola Adekunle Tinubu. Bola Adekunle Tinubu. But for now, let me play this thing for you. Let me play this thing for you because I will not stay long in this broadcast because I can see that Facebook is busy dealing with us. But I want you to listen to this. Listen to this.
Tinubu is facing an unprecedented crisis of legitimacy following the failure of his Western-backed attempted military invasion of Niger. A legal deposition in the US has established that the Chicago State University degree certificate that Tinubu submitted with his presidential declaration was forged. Under Nigerian electoral law, submission of a forged certificate to the country's independent National Electoral Commission is grounds for immediate disqualification.
Correct.
Following the disputed results of the February 25 presidential election in Nigeria, Tinubu has faced multiple legal challenges from the two major opposition parties, which won a combined 60% of the official vote count. Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party and Peter Obi of the Labour Party have been in court since May, alleging multiple breaches of electoral law by Tinubu. A key issue anchoring Atiku Abubakar's case is that Tinubu committed multiple instances of perjury on his presidential declaration form.
The Tinubu himself committed perjury, lying to the, lying under oath. It is perjury, and he is a leader of a country who lied under oath. How can a leader lie under oath and that same leader is still there, and that same leader is there to defend the Constitution or to make sure that the right and the constitutional right of you and I is protected, while your constitutional right and the Constitution of Nigeria is against any form of perjury? Perjury is actually a crime that can give you a jail time. Perjury, it's a crime that can give the criminal a jail time, or maybe it depends on the judge, or a fine. So your president that you are actually, many people are protecting him because these people believe that this administration is going to favor them. It is going to work in their favor. That is the reason why so many people are protecting him. So many people are actually defending him his crime, defending him for all his fraud that he committed, because he might favor you. And they are not asking themselves what will be the what is going to be the outcome of my future after supporting this evil. What is going to be like the future of your children after supporting evil. Because what they are doing right now is supporting evil. Because this evil might favor them. So a president that committed perjury, just because he wants to become a president at all costs, that perjury he committed nullifies his, presidential, position, because he becomes now a crime that he committed that he need to answer. So by right, he does not qualify to run for the office of president in Nigeria. He does not qualify to run as a presidential candidate in Nigeria. That's why he committed all manner of perjury. And today, he is being protected by his ethnic bigots, his fellow ethnic bigots, because they love crime. These are Oluwale people. They love crime. That's why they are supporting crime. So if you look at the activities of these people supporting Tinubu, because they believe that there is something he will do for them. And the reason why all these things is happening, it is because of poverty in Nigeria. The poverty in Nigeria created room for people to support evil. And that evil is always coming back to haunt the same people. It is coming back to backbite the same people supporting it. Every season, every year, every 4 years, they will give you somebody that is evil to be placed in Aso Rock. Because you are Nigerian, you cannot talk. You don't have power to speak. Even if you speak, who will believe you? Because you are an ordinary person. That is the reason why Tinubu committed perjury. And he is not, this perjury that's supposed to give him even jail time. If it is a country that is working, the perjury he committed now catapulted him into being the first citizen of the country, which means the country glorifies criminals. The country glorifies criminals and now prosecute the innocent. That is what the country does, and that is the reason why Nigeria is not going anywhere. That is the reason why Nigeria will never be, Nigeria will never be made good for anybody that is living in it. Because Nigeria is a fraud. That's why you see fraudulent activities of the West, fraudulent activities of the Facebook, fraudulent activities of all these people trying to protect the evil called Nigeria, because it is in benefit of them. Some of them are collecting bribe, including Facebook in Nigeria, collecting so much bribe to flag the account that speak to what they are doing. That's what they do. If you have an account now to do saga, Facebook will not be flagging it. They will not have issue with it. You can do saga, fight with your, with your brother, fight with anybody. Facebook doesn't. But immediately when you start exposing the crime that is being committed around the world, Facebook will remember that your account needs to be restricted, because they don't want the world to know the truth. Today, Israel is under attack. Everybody is giving their support to Israel. They are under attack by Hamas, who is sponsored or supported by Iran. And I know, and I can categorically tell you that what is looming in the world is Armageddon. You see these things they called Armageddon. That is what is, loading. Armageddon. Did you see the second generation of Russia nuclear weapon? The second generation of Russia nuclear weapon in a cruise missile. That is exactly what is going on. Like I told you before, you cannot nuke Russia and go scot-free. Because all the plans they have made to silence Russia, it is not working. Now, the Hamas-Israel war is going to be another attention that USA is going to also put their energy into. Now, who is going to save Ukraine? I don't think there is anybody. But at the end of the day, it becomes very important that the war that they are actually projecting against Russia and Ukraine, there is already what Russia, their nuclear law is that except if Russia, the state of Russia's sovereignty is threatened, they will not use nuclear weapon. But immediately when Russia Federation feel threatened, they are bound to use their nuclear weapon. And you cannot nuke Russia, because once Russia nuclear, perceive nuclear warhead are, coming towards Russia, all the nuclear weapons will be activated, being sent to the different destination. So by the time your own is arriving, your country is already, being decimated by Russian nuclear weapon, because they have this automated, function. They have this automated unit, which if they perceive any nuclear weapon coming against Russia, they will deploy automatically. So that is where it becomes a problematic issue, becomes a conundrum to even those who are gearing up war through Ukraine against Russia. Now, what is now, making me to believe that Armageddon is coming to, happen? Like I always tell you that once Iran finishes their nuclear weapon, there will be a problem. That's why they were preventing them from, this, manufacturing of this nuclear weapon. And this, this attack on Israel, it is not just accidental attack. You see Russia, you see Iran, you see China, you see North Korea. North Korea is still on the periphery. But these three nations that I have mentioned is going to deal with the Babylons. They are going to deal with Babylon strategically, economically, and the warring aspect of it. They will deal with the Babylon. It is already written, and it cannot be changed. It is written, it cannot be changed. So, whatever that these Babylons are planning against our people, just to place us continuously, that we may continue to be in the suffering mode and survival mode, that they may continue to reap the benefit that is coming out of our lands in Africa. The war is going to actually reset the world. The way they are warmongering, they will bring themselves to bow at our feet, just like the book of Revelation 2:9. Just like the book of Revelation 3:9 said, they will bring themselves to bow at our feet, because and what will trigger that to happen? When there is the, when the war they are mongering about start, when they now go to this full-blown war, the first time they will be displaced, and where are they going to look for refuge? They are going to be looking for refuge in some African countries. Are you aware of that? That's where refuge is going to, that is where they are going to look for refuge. And we will give them asylum. We wouldn't abandon them. We will bring them in. We will give them asylum. We will give them menial jobs, like they are giving us menial jobs, as they are making us to be displaced from our homes. We will give them menial jobs. They will become our laborer. We wouldn't treat them the way they treated us. but we will make sure that they jump down from their high horses. That's the way it is. The world of wicked is about to come to an end. The world of the wicked is about to come to an end. The world of the wicked, those suppressing our voices from from being heard, your world is about to come to an end, including Facebook. That is what is going on. And let me leave it here until we meet again. Stay safe and stay informed, because I've parked this car for a very long time. I haven't used it, so that's why I cannot get this program running for a very long time. So it is now warm. So great and wonderful people of Biafra, great people of Africa, we are going to meet again. Of course, you know, when they begin to suppress us, things begin to it works. The suppression is actually distraction. But the most important thing we need to understand is that Nigeria president committed a perjury. He committed a perjury, and that perjury is exactly what Nigeria court need to deal with. Because if it is you and I that committed a perjury, lying under oath, if it is you and I that is lying under oath, believe you me, you might find yourself in jail already. But these people are indispensable. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu committed no crime. He's been 2 years in the prison, in the DSS solitary confinement. He committed no crime. But this man committed a lie under oath, which is called perjury. And then he is still your president. And you believe and you will tell me that Nigeria will eventually get better. Why do you think Nigeria will eventually get better? It will never get better. As long as they continue to condone this evil, condone lies, condone criminals, as long as they continue to, make the justice system not equal, or make, some people to be more equal or more, human than the other people, you are going nowhere. A nation can never a nation can never be, great in doing so. The nation of Nigeria is built on crime. The nation of Nigeria is built on lie. That is the reason why if you lie good, you will become the leader of Nigeria. If you don't know how to lie, you will never be the leader of Nigeria. That is where the nation is deep-rooted upon. And that's why you will never get anything good coming into Nigeria. And that is the reason why we have made up our mind that we will not be part of this project that is made up of lies. Nigeria is a lie, and we can never be part of her lie. We can never be part of the project that is a lie. A president submitting a fake certificate to INEC, and submitting the fake certificate to INEC, INEC still condone it. INEC still, have the audacity to come to court to promote and to protect the lies, the perjury that is being committed by the president. Even when the whole world is watching, for you to see that these people, they have shaved off their eyebrows, so whatever you do does not concern them. Anything they do is all about, it is deep-rooted in lies. So how do you think a nation like that will take care of me and you? Why do you think a nation like that will actually rise up to protect the rights belonging to me and you? Why do you think a nation like that will eventually love one another? When, because if I lie, because I come from your side, I have to, you have to protect me, you cover me. And every other person becomes an idiot. Because you knows the person lying, you protect their lies. When Igbo people come out to expose the lies of Igbo person, they say Igbo don't love themselves. Igbos are fighting themselves. Because we don't defend evil. That is the reason why we come out to expose evil. It does not mean that we don't love ourselves or we fight ourselves. We don't love evil. And we can never condone evil. It is against our ordinana. That is the reason why every traditional rulers in the olden days, when you see them, you find them handling ofo, faneji ofo, because as you know, Jofo Ghana, Ojezoku Ghana, all this while Ibeto has been placed on periphery, and the Dangote is being promoted, as if Dangote is the only person that is a businessman in Nigeria. But all these things, nobody sees it. When Igbo people rise up to say, we need to leave, we need to, secede from this Nigeria, it becomes that Igbos are problematic. But everything that is being done in that contraption called Nigeria has been done against us. Ibeto, for how many years, Ibeto was not doing business, just like Dangote. Where is the consumer, where is the competition commission? Is there any competition commission in Nigeria to make sure there is a level ground for every competitor? There is none. Dangote is a special one. Dangote is the one that, that can go against all odds. To be the one that will do a particular business, nobody else will be licensed to do such business, because Dangote, you see, is a special person who owns Nigeria. That is the reason why he used the money belonging to Nigeria to build a refinery that is, everybody is glorifying him. Refinery that is going to be taking oil from Ibeto's land. It is going to be taking oil to refine. That is, the oil is coming from Ibeto's land. But Dangote makes sure that Ibeto cement does not exist. For how many years? For how many years? Obasanjo supported the, monopoly, or will I call it, the evil capitalist called Dangote. Obasanjo supported him. That is the reason why you see him richest man in Africa. What made him a richest man in Africa was that the business that is supposed to be carried out by anybody who has the capacity to do that, every of them was blocked from any other, any other ethnic group. And the Dangote was the only man given license to do such business. Why wouldn't he be a richest man in Africa? Where is the competition commission? Where is the competition commission? Does Nigeria even have competition commission at all? For you to see how evil these people are. For you to see how evil they are. They segregate the country when you decide that you don't want to be here again, because the country is already segregated by the leaders, the evil leaders, the criminals who call themselves leaders, who commit perjury, who lie under oath in order to stay in power, who kill to be selected into power. They will continue to kill to be in power. Where is humanity? And tomorrow Britain will tell you that Biafrans and Igbo people, we are the aggressors. That is what they are going to tell you, that we are the aggressors. When opposite is always the case. These people will be the one to kill us. They will be the one to invade us. They will be the one to come and be burning our houses, just like the military is doing today. Burning houses belonging to Biafrans all over the place. You saw the priest the priest coming to actually confess the activities of this military being deployed by Nigeria state against our people. You saw it. What are you going to say about it? What are you going to say about it? Nothing. The international community, United Nations, will not say anything about it. But the day, the day we will become, the day we will become violent, you will now find the United Nations looking forward to come and come into Biafra land. But right now, they cannot see the atrocities being committed on our people by Nigerian military. We know that politicians are using those criminals who they call faction of IPOB, the copycats, as they may call them, copycatting from the activities of criminals. They will come and constitute nuisance because the plan is to make sure that our land and our people are impoverished. They are not happy that when they come into Biafra land, they will see beautiful mansions, they will see beautiful duplexes, they will see beautiful houses. These people that they have marginalized, these people that they gave 20 pounds in order to, to destroy their future. All of a sudden, these same people, if you go everywhere in their land, they have homes to live. They have mansions. They have beautiful mansions. While the military now, after seeing that, the military now decide that they will start destroying these houses without any, without any provocation. If a criminal provoke you military, you go after the criminal. If you cannot find the criminal, you go home. It is not because you see people provoking, crime in our land. And these same people are being paid by the same people paying you military. Because that's why these people cannot be stopped. That is the reason why once they come and constitute their nuisance, military will fly, come into our land, hailing bullets on people's homes. And some idiots will be in the public, in the media space, talking rubbish about it, believing that they will get position in a criminal organization who call themselves leaders in Nigeria. That is the reason why you saw some, some people coming to lie against their people because they believe. You know the reason why they are lying? What the military is doing in our land, these people, they have been so poor in their lives. They don't know how much is block. They don't know how much is cement. That is the reason why when we come to tell the world what the military carnage is being committed in our land by the Nigerian military, by Asaredo Kubo's criminals he called military, what they are committing in our land, how they are destroying the shelter belonging to Biafrans, these people will come and say it is a lie. It is a lie because they have never built a house. They don't know how much it costs to build a house. It doesn't concern them. They don't have a home to go to. These people that have made themselves a servitude of the Fulanese. So when you are talking about things that is harming and affecting our people back home, these people, they don't care because it doesn't concern them. These are criminals that are being they are being bred by Nigeria. If the first citizen of Nigeria is a crime, commit crime and is committing perjury, lying under oath, what do you think Nandonachi, Kefiche Nandonachi will do? What do you think that the people that follows him are going to be like? Because a president of every nation, the attitude in every nation is the attitude that reflects the life of a president of that nation. If a terrorist, a president terrorist, a person who have terrorist mindset goes into position of presidency, you will find terrorism being the order of the day in that place. If a president who is a bandit mindset, you find bandits ravaging the whole nation. If a president who is a fraudster, you find Yahoo boys even doing their Yahoo on the street. No qualms. That is the way it is. What a president is a reflection of what the nation will be. So if a president is committing perjury, it means that even every other arms, anybody can commit perjury. Lying under oath, which is the president will now say that I solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of Nigeria, to protect the life of the people, and to rule and to build a good governance. After solemnly swearing, the same president already committed perjury that granted him access to hold the Constitution, to swear under oath. So what are we saying to ourselves? Why are we forcing it to be in a nation that doesn't like us? Why are we forcing it to be in the fraud created by Britain in 1914? The fraud is Nigeria. And Nigeria have killed 3.5 million more than of our people. Why are we still pushing? Igbo presidency, get your PVC. All of you got your PVC. What exactly is that you are waiting for? For you to know that Nigeria is not for you and I. Nigeria is not for you. What are you still waiting for? Of course, you are waiting for Nigeria to happen to you. When it happens to you raw, then you will know and understand it is not for you. This is where I am going to leave it. Because we have seen that Nigeria can never change. They will never ever change. All they do is to prosecute the innocent and aid and abet the criminals. That is what they do. That is what they do. Maybe even that Ibeto. You see Ibeto that Nigeria has been dealing with. You see how Nigeria has dealt with Ibeto for so many years. Ibeto, who is supposed to be one of the greatest man, one of the richest man in Africa, if not the richest. They stole his blessings. They stole what belongs to him. They stole his business. They handed it over to Dangote. The same Ibeto now, maybe, I don't know if you say Ibeto high, how about Nigeria? Ibeto might still be one Nigeria. Regardless of what Nigeria has done to Ibeto, you might still find him preaching one Nigeria. How do you think that the people like this is going to actually, get things to work the way it is supposed to work? How do you think that these people are going to ever take you seriously? Because they deal with you. The response you show them, we love you, even if you're dealing with me. That's why no matter what they do to them, all these people who must have, benefited one way or the other in Nigeria, if Nigeria deal with them, no matter how much Nigeria deals with them, you will still hear them promoting one Nigeria and protecting one Nigeria. Because these people, when you listen to them, they will always believe that there is something that will come out of this one Nigeria. The one Nigeria continues to happen to them because they believe they have the money to take care of themselves, their family. You will not see them complaining. You will not see them complaining. What the way they are treating Allen Onyema. You see Allen Onyema, the way they are treating him, but you will never see Allen Onyema condemn the activities of one Nigeria, because no matter how they treat them, they know and they are well aware that even if they treat them whatever way they treat them, they are still able to feed their families and feed their loved ones. That is the reason why they allow themselves to be treated in that way in which they are being treated. That is the reason why they allow themselves to be treated like nobody. That is exactly what is going on. The rich, those who make their money in Nigeria, whom Nigeria is trying to render useless, whom Nigeria is trying to render poor. Those people, they cannot see it. The only thing that is in their mind is that, hey, I made my money in this Nigeria. I will still make more. And we will just give it time. Things will adjust. That is exactly what these people are believing. Because the people, most of the people who is fighting for this one Nigeria, and most of the reason why the world is not taking us seriously, it is because of these politicians and those who have benefited from this politics that is being played in Nigeria. Those are the reason why the world is not taking us seriously. Because when we are promoting, when we are actually protesting for a better deal, these people will be protesting for their business in Nigeria. They will be promoting, they're trying to lay low. They will say, no, Nigerians is supporting my business, without them knowing that it is not about now. Ever since the independence, over 6 decades of independence, what has changed? What has changed? What has Nigeria given to you? Absolutely nothing. Nigeria has given you nothing. That is it. It has given you nothing. Ever since the independent came and gone, Nigeria gave you nothing. So every time you still believe that the same Nigeria is going to change and they do you good. If Peter Obi could not get his mandate in Nigeria, which is so many of you who are believing that he will still get it, forget it. Forget it. Regardless of all the evidence that been shown, forget it. He's not going nowhere. What you are seeing is a shenanigan. After this shenanigan, you will see, because even Nakubu blues, Unukocha blues, Nde Fulani na Tinubu, Akolunu reggae, and you will still dance it. That is the thing. Meche media exposition you are doing. After all that, Tinubu Akolunu reggae, Okwa Jagaban from women. How did Jagaban manipulate Chicago State University from being a woman to man? How did Jagaban forfeited 460,000 US dollars in 1992? And after that, 1999, he became a governor of Lagos State. So the more you commit crime, the more you are attracted to the position of leadership in Nigeria. So if you don't have a good crime, if you don't have a good record of criminal record, there is no way you will be able to make it. So whoever that is going to actually, preach to you that you are going to make it eventually, after committing crime, that person is, after you being clean, rather. If you are a clean citizen, if you are a law-abiding citizen, you will never make it in the space of Nigeria leadership. But if you are a criminal, believe me, you will make it in the space of Nigeria leadership. I think I am going to take this, let me, just one moment, let me get things in order, one moment. Let me get in. So, Nigeria. All right. I want you, those of you who are sharing the fraud or fraudulent activities of Tinubu. I want you people to know that no matter how much you try, one moment. One moment. As I was saying, it looks like the more crime you commit in Nigeria, the more access you have to leadership position. That's exactly what it looks like. The more you commit crime, the more you are given opportunity to be a leader in Nigeria. So tell Peter Obi and his people that their crime, if they have committed one, of course the crime they committed was against their own people. Tell them that their crime is not big enough to rule Nigeria. So for their crime to be big enough to rule Nigeria, they must commit this crime against the name of Nigeria, against that identity called Nigeria. So if their crime is not big enough, that they will not be the leader of Nigeria. I hope I'm still coming out clear. So tell them, all this media sharing of fake report, fake result, all that media sharing, they will never take you anywhere. The only place it is going to take you is delaying people's time, because now many people does not know the way forward. Just one moment, let me switch to home network. Yeah. So he should know that before you be a president in Nigeria, before you be a leader in Nigeria, not only Nigeria, this is actually, in many African countries, you must have a crime. You must have a serious crime that the world will know about. If you don't have it, you will not be a president of Nigeria. So tell Peter Obi to go and start looking for crime that he needs to commit before he will qualify to be the president of Nigeria. So if not, he is not going anywhere. He must have a crime that some people in the big world know about, that they will be able to use as a leverage against him. So if he does not have such qualities, he will not make it to the position of leadership in Nigeria. And the earlier you understand it, the better for you. Believe you me, all these things you see, see people jumping up and down, Jagaban, obedient, where their obedient is going to get his mandate. Supreme Court to Supreme Court is going to give obedient his mandate. Do you think that Tinubu went this far? Do you believe that Tinubu went this far just to come and be treated like nobody? No, answer yourself that question. Do you believe that he did all he did, share all the money he shared, even, change the result belonging to Chicago State University, and still go to USA, he was not charged for fraud, because that result that was in public domain was seen by the United States, even by Chicago State University. They saw such a result, but at the end of the day, it's supposed to be that fraud was done against the institution in the United States. So anytime that president get to United States, there is supposed to be a question that he need to answer. But because whatever he is doing, whatever they have on him, is a leverage to make him the stooge, that anything that they ask him to do, he must do. Anything that they ask him, if they ask him to go and, if they come into your nation, like oil theft, just let me use oil theft in Nigeria to give you an example. I have told you time without number that oil theft in Nigeria can never be solved. It can never be solved. Rather, it will be aided and abetted by the leaders in Nigeria. Because the oil theft, those people, they will always be the ones that will back whoever they want them to be in the position of power. They back them up and place them in the position of power so that they will use them the way they want. They will commit their crimes without being questioned or without being brought to justice. That's why when you see the vessel come in, once it is already, once they are exposed, they set it alight. The reason why they are setting the vessels alight, it is for people not to investigate to know where it is coming from. Because once you know where these vessels are coming from, you are bound to know who is the perpetrator. And once you know the perpetrator, you will know who is aiding and abetting them. Just like what you said, Asaredo Kubo came to the media space to say in Aso Rock. Asaredo Kubo came to say that it is the military. They say it is the military that is stealing oil in Nigeria. Because they know that military does not have media. Who is going to come and speak for them? In Aso Rock, he went to Aso Rock to go and sell a particular narrative to Nigerians. And so many people bought it. Of course, people like us, we didn't buy such rubbish. Because we know that military can be used to secure the vessel that is stealing oil by the big shots from the big world. That's the way it is done. Military will be like a third party, or even, they are the people who secure. Make sure that these people are protected. Now they will tell you that it is the military, because they want to continue to hide behind it, so that the people who are doing oil thieving, they will continue doing it, because those are the people who will even contribute to the money that is being used to place a person into the leadership position in Nigeria. So many of you, when you see Chicago State University say that the result delivered to INEC is not their result, you believe that it is going to change anything, my brother Potaba. Because if it is going to change anything, number one is that using the name of that institution to commit perjury supposed to be a crime in the United States. And that crime supposed to be whenever Tinubu goes to United States, he will be bring in for questioning. Did you see such thing happen? Because you cannot tell me that the institution did not know that there was a forgery of their result. Because they testified that they saw that forged the result on a public domain when it was made available after the submission to the INEC. They saw it. They cannot come back to say they did not see it. And they saw. They actually made a provision to show where this, template was obtained. The template they used to create the Oluwole, where it was obtained. But at the end of the day, all of them, they keep quiet. They kept quiet because Africa is a place where criminals rule. And because they are criminal, they become the Western stooge. And because they are criminals, they cannot challenge, even if they verbally challenge the activities of the West against their country. They will not implement something that will stop such activities from happening. That is the way it is. And that is how it becomes problematic, because these people, they are ruling us. They are ruling us. They are not leading us. They are luring us into destruction. We have a new president. Things will be better. We have a new president. Things are going to change. Without you knowing that nothing is going to change. Nothing. It is going to get worse. Don't forget, during the time of Obasanjo, how much was dollars? Dollars was, if it was so much, it becomes $1.50 to 150 naira. Right? $1 to 150 naira. If the dollar was so high in Nigeria exchange, it was 150 naira. Then, who came in? Yaradua came in. The dollar was between 150 naira also. Good luck went in. The dollar, increased. The dollar increased. I am not sure of the figure, but it moved away 180. It went to 180, 170. Then Mbuhari came in. Obuhari everything. Immediately Mbuhari came in. Obuhari everything. Everything now turned against everybody. Now you will understand that the more you create new presidents, the more the dollar is going up, the more the economy is going down, the more the cost of living is going high. Then you bring down Buhari. Buhari, everything now went down the drain. Terrorism, corruption, fraud, perjury, and injustices all over the place, banditry all over the place. Poverty, the order of the day. Now, you get Tinubu. During Buhari, people were crying. The dollar is now 500. The dollar is now 500. People were crying. Remember, it went to 500. Tinubu come now. Dollar went to 1,000. Whether it was P2B who went there, dollar will still go to 1,000. Don't forget. Because we speak the truth. It doesn't matter who it pains. Now, even if it was P2B who went there, dollar will still go to 1,000. For you to know that the structure can never, it can never get better. It keeps on getting worse. It continues to get worse. So, you will see now dollar going to 1,000. It will not go back. It will not go back. Petrol price high. Nothing is changing for the benefit of the people who call themselves the voters or Nigerians. Nothing is changing. The only thing that is happening is that some individuals who are benefiting from the activities of the bad governance, those who are benefiting from the bad governance, they continue to aid and abet the bad governance to continue. And how then do you think that your children have future in that Nigeria you see today? That is the reason why we are saying that it will not work for us. For the sake of our future, we need to make a change. We need to move away. We need to move on. Because if we don't move on from Nigeria, Nigeria has moved on from us. Nigeria has moved on from us. That's why how many millions of people decided to get their PVC? Almost all the celebrities in Nigeria promoted PVC for P2B. Almost even in the world. Some of the celebrities across the world promoted P2B. What later happened? Election was rigged. And they gave it to Tinubu. Because P2B is an Igbo man. Igbo people are actually supposed to be subjugated. They cannot be, a leader. Rather, they're supposed to be the slaves in Nigeria, the outcast in Nigeria. So why do you think the people who are seen as outcast will be the president? So that you will go and promote your brother Ibeto. Or so that you will go and promote your brother Innocent. Why do you think they will give you such president? Do you think that the Innocent manufacturing car is that the US is happy that there is somebody manufacturing car in Biafra land? Do you think that Britain is happy that Innocent is manufacturing car? Do you think they are happy? Of course, they are not happy. Because they don't want development coming out from Africa. They don't want this type of things. This is Innocent Motors. It is not assembled. It is manufacturing. It is not assembled. I saw Abia State Governor, even though I don't know anything about him yet. But I saw him moving on a convoy of Innocent vehicle. No, it gave me joy. You know why it gave me joy? I said to myself, at least the consciousness of people is waking up. And however it wake up, whichever means or whichever way it wakes up, will actually recommend it. It gave me joy. At least he was able to remember his own people, his own local manufacturer. Because if we are talking about freedom of Africa, we must learn how to support the local brands. If we start supporting local brands, because we are the biggest consumer, if we start supporting local brands, if we start producing what we are consuming, do you think that the West will still be doing shakara for us? They will no longer do shakara for us. They will know that we belong. Do you think that they are doing shakara for China anymore? They can't. They can never do shakara for any of these countries. They will not. So the only people that will continue to get this shakara, it is the countries like Nigeria. It is the countries like Nigeria that will be receiving all this shakara that they are doing for them, against them. Because Nigeria is a country that is clear, it is British, experiment. And Britain continue to subjugate Nigeria, that it will never move forward. They continue to subjugate Nigeria, that it will never move forward. And the earlier we understand, the easier and better it will be for all of us. Nigeria isn't going to work for anybody. It is not working, and it will never work. And the more you understand that it is the only way that we are going to make it free, the only way that we are going to find freedom, it is the disintegration of that, fraudulent structure. Because the reason why the structure you see criminals ruling Nigeria, it is because Nigeria is a fraud created in lies, created with criminality. People were not informed before the amalgamation. People were not told that they are going to be put together like a chicken in a cage. So Britain forcefully amalgamated us and handed out to, just like Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will say, they gave us Bible and hand us over to Quran. Of course, they did not give us Bible. They used our Bible and brought it back and handed us over to Quran. They handed us over to Fulani. And Fulani is dealing with us amicably on their behalf. And they are loving it. They are enjoying it. So innocent, you see manufacturing cars in Nigeria, in Biafra land, they are not happy about it. Believe me, they are not happy. But of course, they cannot do anything about it. And, innocent motto is supposed to be supported by all African countries. It is supposed to be supported by all African countries because this is African brand. This is brand Africa. But because of the segregation in Africa, nobody wants to support locals. Because Africa, in African mindset, average people in Africa believe that once it becomes European made or foreign made, it becomes original. That's what they believe. They believe that once it becomes European made or foreign made, it becomes original. Once it is African made, it becomes a fake. They will say, no, we don't trust it. But when it is given to you by a white guy, you will accept it with open arms. For you to know that you are being, you are suffering from Stockholm syndrome. You are suffering from the activities of, this harsh colonialism. You are suffering from it. Because the mindset you have is the poverty mindset. The poor mindset you have continue to rule you, that you will not actually know what you are doing. You will never rise up to condemn, to support your own things. You will never rise up to promote what is locally made. They don't anymore because they believe, no, it is locally made. How can we support him now? How can we support this black man so that he will be rich more than us? Had it been that Nigeria government, there is a competition, commission in Nigeria that enables everybody to know, to do business on a level ground, on an equal ground. Nobody will be prejudiced against. You will not find any Dangote being the richest in Africa. You will not. He is flourishing. He's the one. He is one out of a million. 1 in a million. Flourishing. Because they destroy Igbo businesses and they allow Dangote to start exploring those businesses. Alone, one man giving license to do a particular business, while others, their license was removed. What type of a nation is that? What type of a nation is that? Do you think that the federal government of Nigeria is happy about the car manufacturing in Biafra land by innocent? They are not happy. Because if federal government was happy, they're supposed to start promoting the manufacturing company to make sure that when these things start being exported, it will curb inflation, it will now bring the GDP of Nigeria to go high. The economy goes high because now we are doing exportation, more exportation. But because it is coming out from Biafra land, it can never be supported. Now you will now find out, I believe Dangote wanted also to go into manufacturing of cars because he saw Innocent is doing so, to know if they will find a way to do to Innocent what they did to Ibeto. That's exactly the reason why Dangote want to start manufacturing car. Because he is scared of competition. Let him open let Nigeria open the ground for competition. Let everybody, if had it been they opened the ground for competition and everybody was, participant of this competition in a level ground, do you think you will hear about Dangote today? You will not. You will not hear about Dangote. Believe you me, you won't. But because they have made this man to hold the monopoly of major businesses in Nigeria, that is the reason why Dangote becomes the African richest. It is not African richest by merit. So when you see Dangote thinking about car manufacturing, whether he say he's going to be assembling Peugeot, forget that thing. He want to do to Innocent what they did to Ibeto. And if this Igbo elite allows that to happen, of course, we don't need to ask them. We are going home. We are going home. That is actually a slip of tongue. We are going home. If they want, they should allow it. If they don't want, that is their business. We are going home. And the Nigeria Jimala, Jimala Fana Biafra land. We are going home. How can somebody be manufacturing a vehicle, a car? Federal government is not supporting it. How can? Federal government is not supporting it. But everybody is talking about African growth. The federal government will tell you, oh, we need African growth. We need African to be able to compete in the global stage. But when you see innovation, when you see businesses that can enable, that will be able to, that can enable you to compete in the global stage, you will undermine it. You will not actually, embrace it because it is coming from a particular ethnic group called Biafran or called Igbo people, which cannot be allowed to excel in Nigeria. Why? Now you understand that the reason why we are fighting to leave Nigeria, it is because there is no level ground for us to compete. There is no level ground for us to compete. No level ground for us to go into leadership position. The governorship position is just because they have no choice. If it was possible, they would be bringing Fulanis, Yorubas to be governors in Biafra land. But because it is something they can never change, that is the reason why they have to refine even people to start thinking like them. They use them as their stooge before they make them governor. Before you become a governor in Biafra land, you must go and swear allegiance to Fulani before you become a governor in Biafra land. Why? Why is it so? If Nigeria is one, why is the federal government not supporting Innocent? It is a very, very simple question that you need to ask yourself. If Nigeria is one, why is federal government not supporting Innocent? Why is the federal government not buying products from Innocent? Does it mean, I believe in 2009, I think Innocent started manufacturing cars within 2010 and 11, right? Because I still remember that time. I remember that time. We were the first people who ride on Innocent Jeep in Nigeria. We were the first people who ride on Innocent Jeep in Nigeria. He started manufacturing cars in 2010. 2010, between 2010 or 11. No, it's 10. That's when he started manufacturing cars. Since 2010, people who are using such cars, such vehicle, they have never complained. Why is the federal government not bringing these cars from periphery to the mainstream? Because if the federal government endorses these cars, every other government of Africa, before we go to Europe, they will endorse it. And there is no reason why innocent cars will not be exported across Africa and even Europe. It can even be exported to China. Because it is all about affordability. Every nation, how they buy their vehicle, it's all about affordability. And I know that his vehicle is affordable, right? So, but the federal government, because it is Igbo person, they can never support Igbo person to support the economy of Nigeria. So they rather now leave this Igbo person to be in the periphery, struggling, instead of them supporting him and making him to manufacture this in high, have a, quantity, high quantity, when they're manufacturing it, they manufacture in high quantities so that it will be able to go everywhere. You saw him complaining that the reason why some people will place an order, he will not have it on the ground because he might make that order on the ground. People will not buy it. But these are the type of innovation that Africa is looking for. When they have it, nobody is going to support them because Africa is enslaved. They don't want to support their own. I have noticed they don't like to support their own. You will find some people, instead of supporting to buy affordable vehicle manufactured by Biafran in Nigeria, they rather go and buy Motobulu Madna United States. Sometimes they buy it and cut it half. From the duty fee you pay, shipping fee you pay, money you pay to that auction where you buy this vehicle that kills somebody in the United States, why can't you put it together and buy yourself a brand new car with a warranty? In so doing, you are supporting your own brand. But nobody you won't see them doing that. They rather go and buy Motobulu Madana USA. Sometimes they cut it into half so that they will, say it is a pass, so that the duty will reduce. That is what you see in a country where people are mind enslaved. That is what you see in a country where people don't believe in themselves. That is the reason why I made the broadcast I made a few days ago to tell you that even Jesus Christ is a black man, so that you will learn how to believe in yourself. You will know how to believe in yourself, because all this theory that was made about him, it's all about you not believing in yourself. For you not to believe in yourself. So that when I manufacture something, because it's Judge Money, no, Judge Money is a Nigerian, or is a Biafran, or is a African. No, we cannot support him. We don't trust what he manufactures. That is because they have told you, they have depicted an image which made you a Lucifer, which made you a devil, and depicted an image which made them the God. That is the reason why you cannot trust your own, production. You cannot trust your own people. Have you now seen the reason why the color of Christ matters? Because so many of you who will ask, the color does not matter. If it doesn't matter, why did they paint him to be white? When every explanation given by the Bible, backings and everything, who said that they will show you many things and tell you they are Christ, you shouldn't believe them. And they showed you that Lucifer in the name of Christ, you believe them, because it is a people who are, it is a yellow people, or it is pink people. I don't know which color these people are, because of course I know that they are not white. This is white. Have you now seen the reason why we need to start building confidence on ourselves? Self-confidence. And that's why we must start from how they destroyed our minds. And how were they able to destroy our minds? By depicting such image, making us the devil, making themselves the God. They can never be God. They have green eyes or blue eyes. They have blue eyes, gray eyes, or we have dark eyes, which is dark gray. So we are dominant. They are recessive. God made us in his own image. We are the ancient people. We were made first before any other person. Black people were made first before any other people. From black people, other races were born. True or false? So how can we be certain who is the son of the morning star? The son of the morning star. It means that the son of the morning star, the color, it has no melanin. So that's why he becomes the son of the morning star. So when they tell you that, when they depict this image and tell you that you are the devil, they are Jesus, you should know that it is to kill your confidence. And that is what we have come to correct. That is what we have come to correct. Because all these years, your pastors, your priests, they've been promoting the lies that is depicted in order to destroy the confidence of a black child. That's why, because of that, anything made by these people becomes authentic, becomes original. Whatever that is made by dark-skinned people becomes a fake. So how do we emancipate ourselves if we cannot start from that correcting such problem? If we don't start, encouraging confidence on our production, if we don't start encouraging confidence on our business, how do we self-emancipate? That is the reason why every other, although I know that I don't believe in religion, but every other religion laugh at Christianity. Laugh at Christianity because the lies told by Christianity is too much. It is mind and slavery. Mind slavery. Enslavement of our mind. That was what Christianity promoted from the inception. Selling a lies in order to obtain monopoly over you, to obtain autonomy over you, in order to obtain, they obtain righteousness, while you yourself, you become a moral person because they have depicted a man and placed a white guy, a so-called white guy. This is white. This is white. I don't know their color. If anybody know their color, you should tell me. I'm not being prejudiced, but I am being realistic. This is white. Now, to place another person on top of you, making you the devil with a horn, with the big teeth, the boogeyman, making you the bad guy. All in the name of stealing away your confidence. All in the name of making you barbaric. Because they want to make you barbaric, which they were. That's exactly what that depiction, it tells. They make you to feel like you are barbarian. But these people were the barbarians themselves. It wasn't us. We were not barbarians. The myth stories they told about us was all a lie. And that's why we are here. We will continue to correct it. But the place where their story sells so quickly, it is in church. That's why we are starting from the ministries. We are starting from Christianity to destroy every lies that stood against us, that is destroying our confidence and our morality. That is destroying our confidence and our morality. That's exactly what we are here to deal with. I don't know what is happening to my stand. It is no longer standing firm. So that is the reason why we are here. We are going to correct it. And we are going to get our freedom. But it is up to you. If you are African, even if you are the one, Nigeria, if you know that you need freedom, you start supporting local brand. Place local brand first before any other international brand, regardless of who manufactured it. Local brand, African brand comes first. We are the biggest consumer, but when Africa manufactures something, they don't sell it. Even though we consume the same thing manufactured outside Africa. Who does that to? Who did that to us? Because of those depictions they did, and they were showing it to your children, to the extent that they convince your children to bear Igbo name, bear French name, bear Dutch name, bear different name, bear different names. Because you don't have confidence in your language, in your things, in your manufacture, your manufacturers. You don't have confidence in them. But the same people will go and work in the field where these Europeans, China, and everywhere, Japan are manufacturing them. They are the same people who will go and work and get paid. But when the same people come to now use their skill on the soil of Africa, when they become their own CEO, it becomes problematic to a black child, because a black child is actually created or remodified by the colonialist to see him or herself as a failure, that they can never do anything that is going to be original. It is time for Africa to wake up. And we know that if Nigeria is disintegrated today, if indigenous people that are in Nigeria today, if they can get themselves, if they can wake up from their slumber, if they can realize that their consciousness must wake up, if they can bring up their consciousness before their stupidity, believe you me, and destroy that structure that is created by Britain, that is, that structure that is built for exploitation, economic exploitation, and economic sabotage that is enacted by Britain. If they will do away with the structure given to them, with the borrowed structure of leadership, if we will do away with all these things that is, borrowed from Europe, we will be able to rule ourselves. We will lead ourselves, not rule, because they are ruling us. They are ruling us and they are leading themselves. They rule us through a proxy. That's why you should tell Peter Obi he is not a qualified candidate to be Nigeria president. His crime is not yet international crime. He must have international crime before he will make himself available to become a president in Nigeria. His crime is still maybe local crime, state level. So all this small crime in the state, those are the crime that, those type of crime, they cannot be, qualify you to be a president in Nigeria. But when you see international crime, certificates forgery from USA, identity changes in the US school, narcotics pushing in the USA, when you see them, now you are talking. That's when they will tell you, now you are talking. Now you are now qualified. And you will find some individuals who will begin to promote this evil that is well orchestrated by the enemy of black people. You see black people promoting these things. As they are promoting these things, believe me, they will never go anywhere forward Maybe you take small money, you buy a Jeep, you drive the latest car that is on the market, you build the latest mansion, or you build the latest duplex in Lekki Tollgate and Banana Island, or in your village even. You say you believe that no, you are forgetting that now everything you are doing, there are people you are there representing those children that you have given birth to. Nigeria continue to collapse each and every 4 years, 8 years. It continue to collapse to the worst. And you continue to support evil. Nigeria continue to collapse before your eyes. But because you believe that, no, I know that man, I know Jagaban, he's my statesman, he is my tribe, so we have to support evil. And you will be supporting such evil without realizing that this evil that you are supporting, you are destroying the future. You are aiding and abetting those ancestors, destroying future that you and them will not be part of. Because now, you will not be part of the future when you, as your children, will be growing up, listening to Nigeria Naira, becoming maybe 5,000 to dollar, because it is going to come there. In the next decade, you might find Nigerian Naira being 10,000 to dollar. And you will see now the currency of Nigeria, you will start seeing, 5,000 one currency, or 100,000 one currency. You will start seeing those things because it have no value anymore. Then your children, you believe you are building generational wealth for them. But inside that Nigeria, when they take that money outside, it is nothing. You don't know that whatever you are doing something that is going to wait. As in onye nyuchie nsuzo, onabanya ni ijiji ezuo. Inyuchie nsuzo, inachiwe give ni ijiji gezu. No matter how much decorated your physics is. If you do number 2 on the road, when you are returning, the middle of the road or where you are going to pass, the flies is going to meet with you. So whatever you do will come back to you. You believe that it is your children, your future generation. As long as I have built mansion for them, I have built a house, I have cars, fleet of cars, I have established business. How will the economy of the country be like by the time these children will grow up? Have you ever asked yourself such questions? You don't ask yourself such questions. No. There are investments, that you will be doing. You will see that it is a stupid investment. Any investment you are doing in Nigeria, whether you claim you have dollar account in Nigeria, you have dollar, you keep your money in Nigeria in dollar. Of course, that is the reason why Nigeria will never move forward, because everyone is keeping their money in dollar. Everyone is having domiciliary account. Everyone does not want to buy Naira. If you see the reason why Afghan currency becomes, do you know that Afghan currency is like $1 to 70 Afghan currency? Do you know that? Even after the Taliban took over. Afghan currency is even bigger than Indian rupee. Are you aware? India is I think the third biggest economy in the world, or if not the third, they are within the top 5 biggest economy in the world. I stand to be corrected in that regard, but I know the Chinese is the second. But Afghan money now becomes so strong next to dollars. Do you know what they did? They started suppressing the foreign currency.
anything you must do it with the local currency. If you want to keep money, keep it in local currency. That's why their money started gaining value. But Nigeria, all these politicians, they have stockpile of dollars. How do you think that money will grow? That your economy is going to grow? How do you think your money will not go up to 10,000 naira per dollar? Because once you value dollar and you use dollar within Nigeria, it means that your currency is automatically being devalued. It has no value because you have made peace with foreign currency. That's why the money you have will not go anywhere, and the politicians, they are stockpiling dollars. And every time you come across, you will say, no, Nigeria will be better tomorrow. You are supporting evil, aiding and abetting evil, without knowing that the evil you are aiding and abetting is going to come and destroy you. One way or the other, it is going to come back to haunt you. You are stocking dollars. We are stockpiling dollars. Those who are stockpiling dollars, how do you think they will allow your naira to grow next to dollar? They wouldn't, because they want, if they bring out $1 from their stockpile of dollar they have saved, it will become 1 million naira. They own monopoly over everybody. That's really the plan. They will never make the currency to grow. Have you now seen the reason why that British contraption called Nigeria need to be splitted? That forceful amalgamation that was done against the will of the people need to be destroyed, because it is a white guy from Europe who came and decided to introduce initiative and bring up a structure called Nigeria, name it, and force you to live by it. And in so doing, because you have seen that the creator is white, according to them, you say to yourself, no, we have seen the picture of Jesus Christ, and this Jesus Christ is a son of God, which means God is white, Jesus is white. And it means that these people are God. They can create for us what we are going to live by. They can create for us what we are going to live by. Anything that they touch becomes 5-star. So therefore, they have to create a nation for us. And they have to force us to be together. They have to now create structure for us. They have to create system of government for us. And we are living by it because we are the devil that is supposed to be ruled by God. That's exactly what they have done to us. How do we navigate this conundrum? How many of you in Nigeria is planning or is talking about how we can navigate this conundrum? That is the reason why when we begin to preach about religion, when we begin to talk about the manipulation of religion, so many people will see us that we are being prejudiced against their belief. We are not teaching religion because we want you to live it. We are teaching the religion so that you will be consciously going through it, not for you to live it. Consciously, because what we are doing here is for everybody to be mindful of what they are actually engaging or involving themselves with. You know the truth behind what you are doing. We are not forcing you to get out of it. It doesn't mean that when Biafra comes, there will be no Christianity. There will be Christianity. There will be. For those who follow it. There will be Anglican, there will be Siemens, there will be Catholic for those who follow it. But we might say that our most recognized religion or most recognized, spirituality will be African way of spirituality. We will say that it is what is gazetted Others are the ones who came to our land. Like the way I always tell you that, including what you call Aronse Bialabia. So when people are telling you Arokose Bialabia na Alibo, Arose Ganana, Oburawa ordinana. So Ndana Mana Haneja to Madana Alose, Oburawa ordinana. Egypt to Alusi Sibia. Alusi came from all the way from Egypt. Because they believe in sculptural work. They believe in Ifapelapi. They believe in glorifying the dead. They believe in, that is the reason why you see Alusi came with some of the Aaron of our generation into our land. The same way Christianity came with these people into our land. And if you look at the activities of all these traditional, who call themselves native doctor, even Fanda never Balosi. And when we talk about Omena, you will think that these people who are call themselves traditional healers, they are not traditional healers. They don't heal anything. They don't heal anything. They are all criminals. They call themselves Ndokite. Ndobelite. They call themselves Dibibo. I think on the Dibia. If all the things, if I find a Alosi, because so many of you are being misguided today. Because so many people, when they see, no, we are talking against Christianity, therefore, Alosi is the one. It is not the one. They are all in the same category. They are all in the same category. We are not trying to move away from Christianity to go to Arosi or to go to this Omenana. We are going to Ordinana. 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 That is our own. Or the bending agenda. Omenana bifa mutalamuta. Alo baafo obulu omenana. So we are not moving from this alusin dochafa butelai to alusin nkende nanae fajesata. Fanchabofu. Fabialabia. Fagana. Mogeluo. So our people who are going to say, oh, we are native doctors, piju everywhere, evulu obarane buju everywhere, na saying all these things na alosi, fa satali asata, onye jo satana alosi, e satana alosi, alosi enyegi kenkegi, welu ne mezi fe ne mezi kenkegi. You will be telling yourself that now you are a native doctor. That is exactly what they do. Ndobona na agwo ife agwola agwo sigi na ogwolu gogu. Am agwolu gogu. Hasatal nkefa na alusi. And alusi anwu iye bubatala ogwu na alulu mana na Igbo. Igbo mmadu na alulu mana na Igbo. Alusi bubataya. So makana some of you ganeche we are fighting Christianity because it is now a direct highway for you to go and start worshiping Alusi. No, it is not. It is not a license. It is not approval. All these things are evil. All of them. We need to try to discover ourselves. We need to try to discover ourselves. Our ordinana. If you don't know how your ordinana is done, go and marry your Bible. Especially from the Old Testament, from the book of Leviticus. Read the book of Leviticus, read the book of Exodus, read the book of all these books in the Old Testament. You will understand that many things we do is actually deep-rooted in the Bible. It is not deep-rooted in Omenana or Alusi. Alụsị bụ omenala n'ala Igbo. But people don't know. Alụsị ifu bụ omenala n'ala Igbo. Maka na alụ gbara afọ. Akpọ ya omenala. Ịghọtago? Alụ gbara afọ. Akpọ ya omenala. There is somebody who was, explaining what Osu is. He said that there are those people who the whole community was chasing after. They go and sit in an Alusi chair, in Alusi, and the Alusi promised to protect them. And once they sit in that chair, you cannot touch them. So, at the end of the day, this becomes a very contradictive information. It might be the truth, though. The people they call Osu, because those people they call Osu, you might find out that they are the most important. They are, people with a very good role, a very good destiny. That they are. But because the enemy have seen what they will become, the enemy will start chasing after them to kill them. And they will now run into the wrong thing to protect themselves. So have you now seen that many things that happened to our people, many things that occurred in our land, those things is as a result of what we grappled with. We were grappling with so many things, so many forces, so many attacks. People were looking for something that will give them result immediately. Likewise, when Moses went to the mountain to pray, to seek for the face of Chukwokikabiama, Aaron started taking the ornament of the children of Jacob, which is Israelites. I know the reason why I call it children of Jacob before I call it Israelite today. It is because when we call them Israelite direct, so many people will believe that we are talking about those or the land of Israel. We are not talking about the land of Israel. We are talking about where we come from, our ancestral origin. That's what we are talking about. We are not talking about a conquered land. And we are not telling ourselves that these people are our, we are the same people. We are not the same people. We are not. They know themselves that they are Europeans. But the land is conquered. It is taken over. That's it. And that's why the land, there will be no peace in the land. In that land. There will be no peace. It is a special land. Everybody wants to conquer the land. So that is the reason why I say the children of Jacob. Because people don't realize that Jacob's name was changed from Jacob to Israelite. After he ran away from the wrath of his brother. To a place called where he found his wife. What was that place called? I've forgotten the name of that place. But when we talk about our people, when Moses went to look for God in the mountain, our people decided, no, we are going to make a graven image. Do you think that when Moses came back, see them making graven image, do you think so many of them got over it? Just like SAN And Niger is somewhere today, suffering. Some people made a graven image for themselves, following. Do you think that every of them is going to come back to follow SAN And Niger? Because some of them must have gone deep into their graven image. They started following it. They migrated with it. They migrated with it. And that is the reason why you see Alosi in our land today. That graven image. If Alosi apila, The reason why it looks like that alosi, the reason why it looks like it is answering them, because they were giving to that alosi what was done to God in the, during the time or during the era of Moses' law, Mosaic law. They were following that principle of how to use blood sacrifice to appease God. They are using it to appease what they knew nothing about. Then it looks like it is working for them. But it is working for them with easy, rob Peter to pay Paul, rob Paul to pay Peter. That's what he continued to do for them. But they are not realizing what it is doing against them, how it is ruining them, how it is destroying them. I know so many of my friends, or so many of, so many people that I know, they went home, they will say no. You see them, they tell you that they are not worshiping Alosi, that they have Alosi that they worship. It is in their room. They brought it all the way from where they come from Nigeria. And these people, they will start doing well in their business. They will start doing magic. Signs and wonders will start happening. It is not about that signs and wonders that is happening at that point. You know what happened? Their end is always a mystery. Their end is always a mystery. You will see this person that is doing well. He started doing well. All of a sudden, he's dead. You will be wondering what happened. Because he went and involved himself with the energy that he does not know what it is all about. These things are rob Peter to pay Paul. That is the reason why we are conscientizing the minds of our people to make sure that the fact that we are telling them there is a lot of contradictive information coming out from Christianity and the way they read Bible. And just like we are telling them that Christianity is actually a tool of colonialism, the same way we are telling them that Alosi, Bialabia. Because so many people are now carrying out advertising their Ndidibia. They are now advertising it in the name that Nacho Chan the pastor Ndoli. How we were learned. Hey, Hafili na Chuchazan the pastor na the pastor the wayo. Fawa Biasia Wolo Kite were learned. Their own is worse. Their own is worse. At least Christianity will corrosion on a corrosion. Or small, on our bias. But in Kano, one day, and our youth no culture. So, they are calling these things Omenana because even the elderly people does not know what is Omenana and what is Ordinana. That is now going to be the confusion that people are going through. Because a lot of people will be believing if we say that this Christianity is not the way. That means if Alosi and Evo is the way. Without you knowing that that one is self-destruction. That one is, it doesn't take long for that to destroy you. That is one thing they don't know. It does not take long for that one to destroy you. Because you are calling on energies that you don't know anything about. That is one thing that our people need to understand. Because your confidence lies on the type of God that you worship. Your confidence lies on the God that they showed you that you are worshiping. But when we conscientize your mind to show you that the one they showed you that is your God that you worship is not the one. That person they show you is the master that made you to be slave. The real man that thing is impersonating is like you and I. It's even darker than you and I. A giant black man. A giant black man with a rasta hair. Have you ever seen an European with a dreadlocks? Yes, I have seen. I think I have seen. I think I have seen. But 1 in a million. I don't know if because he didn't comb his hair that made him to have a dreadlocks. But it is rare to see European with a dreadlocks. It is rare. It is rare if there is. Because the one I saw is a man, he never combed his hair, and the man is like a street person. He doesn't have a home. He's always dirty. So I don't know how I will justify that one. But all I know, it is rare. But when you talk about our dada and Kendocha is not the same. Our own dada and their own is not the same, if at all they get it. We know that every hair, if you don't comb your hair, it will become, rasta. If you don't take care of it, it turns to another thing. But our cruise hair is the one, that is close to the wool, that the texture of hair of Christ is. So when they tell you that this thing that they called, that thing they called Christ is your God, tell them no, it is not your God. Your God created you in his own image, and you are ancient people. The first man created was a black man, and that black man is dominant, has a lot of melanin. And how can that somebody who will be our God, we are stronger than them. We are stronger than our God. How can you be stronger than your God? Because the God they show you has no melanin. Is recessive, you are dominant. So how can that be? Who is advising who here? It is a simple logic, common sense. We know it's no longer common. It is no longer common. Now let me read for you something from the Bible quickly before I call it a day. One moment. Let me read it for you quickly. One moment. Let me actually. One moment. So, Let me read let me read the book of Isaiah 53 so that you will know what is the God himself. Remember, Lucifer is the son of the morning star. The son of the morning star. That was Lucifer.
Nah, we're gonna go. You can see I'm online, eh?
Relentlessly and determinedly. It can never stop. Those who underestimate our resolve do so at the own peril, as I've said before.